Okay, when you get a gut feeling about something, do you ignore it? Our first guest today says our intuition is one of our greatest gifts, and she's here to help you recognize when your intuition is trying to protect you. We welcome psychic medium Anna Blossom Cohen. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me about when you tapped into your own intuition more, because I understand you had a whole previous career in the fashion industry.
Yes, I did.
How do those two things connect?
Well, I've always been intuitive. Even since a child, I could feel sort of hot spots or pain in people's bodies, and I knew that I could help them heal. But it was not until I was much older that I actually anchored into that ability. But intuition was a thread that wove through my entire life, bringing me through a very successful career in the fashion industry and then into what I'm doing now.
Is it one of those muscles that we all have some capacity for, where we just don't flex it enough?
Yes, that's exactly how I talk about it, actually.
Okay.
If we don't use it, it atrophies, and if we do, it strengthens. It's pretty amazing.
What are some of the ways that we're limiting ourselves when we talk about intuition and kind of the way that we live our lives, right? I think we're always problem solving and over-analyzing. Does that get in the way, I would imagine?
Yes, it does get in the way. When we're sort of in a stress cycle, we're not very easily able to access our intuition. And when we are able to soften our energy, slow down, take a moment, take a deep breath, connect with the heart. You know, the heart sends about 10 times more messages to the brain than the brain sends to the heart, which most people don't know. And if we anchor into the connection with the heart, it really allows us to feel our way, which is more of the intuitive, sensory sort of way of connecting.
Yeah, trusting your gut. I mean, kind of makes sense when you think about it that way.
Exactly, yeah.
How do we trust ourselves more and have that confidence that we should listen to what's happening internally?
Well, when we really listen to what our needs are and our desires are and allow ourselves to give ourselves those things, we plant the seeds of trust within the self, and that way we can build the relationship with the self, which is, you know, our intuition is at the center of authenticity, of our authenticity, and it really is our most true voice. And so if we can quiet all the noise and all the needs of everyone and everything else, we can find our way to that deeper inner knowing. And it is really a felt sense. So, you know what a yes feels like in your body.
Okay.
And you know what a no feels like in your body. If you sort of think about experiences where you had a full body yes or a full body no, if we tune into that, we can feel the answer to a question or to an opportunity if we can just soften a little bit and get out of the analytical thinking and into the feeling.
It sounds like one of those things that's simple but not easy, right? You've got to put some practice in. Is there a way you can kind of check yourself in the day and go, okay, I'm going to take a deep breath and kind of recenter myself?
Yes. I would recommend, if you can close your eyes, that's really helpful.
Yeah.
If you can't, that's okay. But just slowing the breath down, taking a moment to disconnect from trying to do anything else, trying to resolve anything else, and center in, slowing the breath, focusing on the heart, giving it a smile, and giving it permission to lead. And then listen. It only takes a few seconds to do that, and it really is amazing what happens when we do. And then when we're modeling that in our, first of all, it helps us feel better and feel more centered and grounded in what we're looking to experience and do in our lives. And then it also helps us, it's like waves that go out into the world. We then present ourselves to the world in this more centered way, which attracts more of that to us. And then it's really beautiful. You can watch your whole life sort of become more calm and centered and feel better.
Do you find that this helps people with just little everyday things in life that we don't even realize are stressing us out more than we even think about?
Yes. The big answer is yes.
Because you don't have to have some lofty goal or something that you're trying to manifest necessarily. You can really just tap into yourself and go, okay, I'm going to have a different experience this time in a more positive way.
Yeah. In fact, a great low-hanging fruit way to do that is when you're hungry and you need a snack, open the refrigerator and feel if the grapes or the strawberries really are more resonant for you. What feels like a better option, or if you go for a walk with the intention of connecting with your intuition, you're not trying to get anywhere or do anything or have a destination other than connecting with yourself. And then you find your way by listening, which way to turn, what to look at, and you'll find that you just deepen your relationship with the bigger world and what has meaning, and feel more connected to your life, and it's pretty magical.
Are people surprised at how strong their intuition becomes after they do kind of lean into this practice, even just little by little?
Yes. I do a lot of coaching for people. I do a lot of mediumship, of course, and it really doesn't take much time. It's just we haven't really culturally valued intuition.
Yeah.
It's such an undervalued and highly it's incredible. It's an incredible skill to have, and it makes such a difference in our lives. And you know, having the ability to lean into that quickly makes a difference.
What about in terms of, like we mentioned, protecting yourself, staying away from things that might be harmful? It sounds like intuition could be a much maybe quicker way to a better answer in certain situations.
Yes, and I'll say that there is this idea that intuition can guide you away from the things that are scary or could be harmful, but really what it does is if you're tuned into it, you aren't paying as much attention to those things, you're not triggered by them, you're just moving toward what feels good and aligned. And therefore, those other things are not, they're just sort of falling away, if that makes sense.
Well, that sounds easier to accomplish too, right? If you're not even listening to all the noise of the negative things that could be getting in your way.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's easier than it seems.
We're on the right path already. This was a really fun conversation. Thank you so much for stopping by.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we will have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this. Thank you so much.